What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. It's actually my birthday today. For my birthday, I want to go pick out my TBR for September. This is my first book video ever. I am a little sick right now, so if you hear me snuffling a lot or my nose just sounds stuffy, that is why. I have not done this yet before, but I have a list of prompts in this cup to choose from. I'm gonna pick 5 of the prompts. Usually every video I've seen of somebody doing this video has a bookshelf behind them, which I don't have that. Literally, these are the books that I have. It's a good collection, but it's not like everybody else you see. We're starting our reading journey this year by giving ourselves some goals that we can actually accomplish this month. We're gonna build the library up. I have one book that I am for sure gonna be reading this September, and that is ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Basically, this will be the first fantasy I read. I've read the Shatter Me series, a dystopian, but this is the first like fairy mythical creature book that I will read. I don't really know much about it. I've seen a bunch of book YouTubers talk about this. I was like, let's give it a shot. It's basically about a 19-year-old who kills a wolf in the woods, and his terrifying creature arrives to demand retribution, dragged into the treacherous magical land she knows about only from legends. So I don't know, this sounds very interesting. A lot of people have read this book. I cannot wait to read it. I am kind of intimidated by how many pages it is. It is 419 pages, but we are gonna dive into this soon. So the first book on our TBR is A Court of Thorns and Roses. We are going to pick 5 of these little prompts. So let's get right into it. And by the way, as we're picking these prompts, I'm gonna pick 5 of them, and then we're gonna head to Barnes & Noble and pick out the books that we are going to read. The first one is number 1. Author I've never read. That should be interesting because I haven't read a lot of authors, so that's kind of like a freebie, pick your author. Number 2 is boyfriend picks. So we're gonna have Blake pick out my next book. This is so interesting. Okay, all right, my third one. A book based in fall. That is so perfect because September, fall, that's all I want to do is read fall books. That's number 3. We got 2 more, and I have like 12 prompts in here. Number 4, a book with a bird. So basically a book with a bird as its cover. That is probably a lot of books. I don't know, we're gonna have to go see. Last one, last prompt, last book for my TBR for September is going to be Enemies to Lovers. I hope I can figure that out, because like how am I supposed to know if a book's Enemies to Lovers? I guess I'll look that up. So to go back over it, we got Enemies to Lovers, a book with a bird on the cover, a book based in fall, an author we've never read, and boyfriend picks my reads, and of course we got A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm so excited. Let's go pick out these books. It's been a couple of days. We're back. Hey, it is currently September 3rd now, and we are recording my TBR list. I picked these on August 31st, by the way. It took me a while to get this video done because I was waiting for a specific book to come in through Amazon because it had just came out on August 31st, so stay tuned for that book. I'm so excited for it. We are at the moment that you guys have all been waiting for, my TBR, the books I am going to be reading in September. Let's get into it. I'm so excited. This will be the one time I've ever picked a TBR. I don't know why I say TBR for a month specifically. And it's already the third day, haven't even started, but to be fair, I just finished a different book that's not on my TBR, but we are going to finish this by the end of this month. I can promise you that, hopefully. But in the last clip you saw, I picked out of this cup of prompts. Let's just get right into it. By the way, you see this little stain? That happened right after I put the shirt on this morning. I was cooking eggs and yeah, it just so happened that it splattered. It happens every time. Let's get into it. I can't stop talking. Guys, let me just say, before we get into it, it feels like fall outside. It feels so good. I spent my day outside with Chi-Chi, roaming around, feeling the fresh air. And around 5 o'clock, it got super hot outside and I'm now sweating. I literally have a fan on me right now. It's hot, but September is officially fall season. I know not to everybody, but for me, it's definitely getting into the fall mood. So let's just get right into it. First pull out of this cup that we have chose is a boyfriend picks. I don't know if that, I'm not going on the same, what I picked in the last clip. I'm not doing it in that order. I don't know what that order was, but the order on my phone is first, boyfriend picks. The first book that Blake picked for my TBR of September is Phillips Reeves' Mortal Engines Book 1. Guys, let me just say, I did not expect him to pick this book. He is obsessed with Halo, so I assumed that he was gonna probably pick a Halo book, but he actually picked this book. It's kind of like from when I'm reading about it, it's an old Scholastic book fair kind of book. Like even these pages, look. Oh, this is so hard for you to see, but these pages crack. Hear this? I cringe at that, but it's okay because we will still read it because my boyfriend, my lovely boyfriend, picked this out. It does sound actually kind of interesting, so I'm gonna read you a little bit of the back so you can kind of get an idea of what this book's about. Emerging from the hiding places in the hills, the great traction city of London chases one terrified little town across the wastelands. If it cannot overpower smaller and slower prey, the city will come to a standstill and risk being taken over by another. In the attack, Tom Natsworthy, apprentice historian to the London Museum, is flung from its speeding superstructure into the barren wasteland of out of country. His only companion is Hester Shaw, a murderous, scar-faced girl who does not particularly want Tom's company. Could they get back to London before it's too late? I don't know, it sounds pretty interesting. It's a little, I would say probably like a little dystopian book, but I cannot wait to read. On Goodreads, I do have a Goodreads, by the way. I'll probably put it somewhere up here or in the description. Goodreads rates this a 4-star, so hopefully it's a 4-star. We'll see at the end of the month. The next book is an author I've never read, so this was kind of like a freebie, and the author I've never read, The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And yes, while picking these books, I did do a little research. I watch a lot of booktubers, so I am familiar with a lot of the books that I have chosen for my TBR. So this is the next book I chose, The Inheritance Game. I am so excited to read this. For one, look at this cover. Look how beautiful that cover is. It's so detailed and it looks intriguing to the eye. I'm pretty sure this book is a series. Yeah, no, I'm sure this, I know this book is a series, and this book is, let's see how many pages. This book is 374 pages. This will be either one of the first books I read this month or the second, because I want to try to get to the bigger books first to make sure I get through those. Basically, this book caught my eye because it is about a girl who's planning her future to survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out like any ordinary person in this world. But her luck changes in an instant when a billionaire, Thomas Hawthorne, dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. Like, what? Avery must move into the sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne's house is also occupied by the family that was disinherited. This includes the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous, magnetic boys who grew up with the very expectation that one day they would inherit billions. That, I would be so mad if some random person got my grandparents or whoever, I forgot who it was, got my inheritance that I thought I was gonna get for years, and then some random lady comes in and I find out that I don't get the mansion and this random person does. Like, who is this girl to this billionaire Tobias Hawthorne? Like, who? And who is this Hawthorne dude? Because how does he have that much money? I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, but this is going to be very interesting. I'm so excited to get into this book. Let me, it's a, hold on. What genre is the Inheritance series? Actually, what's crazy about this is I didn't know, I just had to look it up, but this book is actually a YA mystery thriller, so did not plan that. I'm excited for that though. I'm living for it. The fall season's all about creepy, mysterious things, so the Inheritance games. The next one we have on the list that we picked is Enemies to Lovers. Okay, so for this one, I did not know how I was actually going to choose the Enemies to Lovers book, because I was thinking, like, how am I gonna know this is an Enemies to Lovers? Well, I was in Barnes & Noble, I was strolling, I was there for like an hour, and I was looking, I was like, how, I don't know, like, I can kind of pinpoint which ones, but I wanted to pick a good one. I looked up like a YA Enemies to Lovers or just Enemies to Lovers books, came across this one. This one is If He Had Been With Me, and I actually have been wanting to read this book. It's by Laura Nowlin, and I seen this book like 2 years ago. This book's kind of old, I think, but there's still hype around this book. I still want to read it. It looks so interesting. It's about this girl Autumn and Finn who used to be inseparable, but now something has changed, or they changed. Now they do their best to ignore each other. Weird. Autumn has her boyfriend, Jamie, and her close-knit group of friends. Finn has become that boy at school, the one that everyone wants to be around, that still doesn't want to stop the way Autumn feels every time she and Finn cross his path. The growling, nagging thought that maybe things could have been different, maybe they should be together. And as time passes, Autumn realizes that she might get another chance, or not get another chance, to make things right before it's too late. Sounds interesting, been wanting to read it. Why not pick this one as the Enemies to Lovers? I mean, come on. This book, the cover is so cute too. Like, I don't know, it's just so simple, it's cute. The name's Autumn of the girl, so I mean, come on. It just makes sense. So this is what I picked for that one. Ow, guys, my legs hurt so bad. I am sitting really awkwardly. The next one we have is a book with a bird on the cover. There was probably so many I could have chose from. I looked at so many, I was like, oh, this one has a bird, this one has a bird. Most of them were Hunger Games, to be honest, and I didn't feel like reading Hunger Games right now. I will probably go back one day and start reading it, but right now in this series of this video, I did not want to read the Hunger Games. So we picked something close to the Hunger Games. We picked, yep, you guessed it, Red Rising, or maybe you didn't, I don't know, but this book has been a very popular book on BookTube recently that I've seen. And I've heard mixed reviews about this book. I heard it's a 4-star, I heard it's a 5-star, I heard some people didn't know how to rate it. I'm excited to get into it. The cover's beautiful. Since it was a picture of a bird on the cover, I saw the bird wing, I thought this counted. It's cute, I was excited for it, so let's not judge that. Loved the summary, so why not get it? I'll read it to you guys. It says, his wife taken, his people enslaved, driven by the longing for justice in the memory of his love. Darrow? Yeah, guys, I do not do good with like names that are hard to read, so, or reading in general. Anyway. Darrow will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, and even if he must become one to do so. So interesting. I can't wait. And look, okay, this book is so floppy. Like, look how easy it opens. Look how easy the pages turn. This is a nice book to hold. If you know, you know. If you don't, you think I'm crazy, that's okay. This book, enough about this. Okay, next. Guys, sorry, I had to take a really quick break because my legs were killing me. Couldn't sit like this anymore. The next book is a book that I already showed you guys. It's a book that I did not pick out of the jar, but it's a book that I do want to read, and I did want to add to my TBR for this month. So this will be one of the books I get to first. Like I said, for the Inheritance Game, it's either going to be this one or the Inheritance Game first. Don't know still, but we gotta choose today because we gotta get started on this reading challenge once again. Ugh, guys, I'm so sorry. Let me just tell you one thing, that like in the last clip I was so sick, and like that's part of the reason why I didn't get started on this reading challenge. And you could tell in that video, like I just sounded terrible, like with that sniffling. It was bad. The Court of Thorns and Roses, I cannot wait to read. I've heard so many great things. It's a fantasy. This is the first fantasy I am getting into. I've read dystopians. I read the Shatter Me series. Well, not all of it, but I've read like 3 books of it, and I really love it. But my first fantasy with like fairies and goblins and all of those things, I'm so excited. I was always terrified to get into a fantasy because, I don't know, I felt like I was just gonna take a long time to understand the book. And I know I'm not the only one, but I feel like now is the right time. Now is the time that I can get in that headspace and kind of really get myself into the book and understanding it. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe I won't, maybe I will. We'll see at the end of the month when I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. And then the last book is a book based in fall. Now this is the book I've been waiting for. It actually came in today. I'm so excited. It took me a long time to actually look for a fall book. At Barnes & Noble, I guess it's not fall season yet at Barnes & Noble, and they didn't really have like a fall selection. I went around looking at books that like maybe give me the representation of fall. No, none really stuck out to me. So we went on TikTok and we looked at a bunch of book videos for people who have recommendations to read in fall. That's where I got this book idea. I saw it came out August 31st on my birthday. By the way, my birthday was great. I got these books and I'm just so excited to read this book. I've never read a new book that came out the day, like a few days after it came out, so I'm so excited. This book is so exciting. The cover is beautiful. It is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. Guys, let's just take a minute. Let's just take a minute. Look how beautiful. And even like the spine has like really beautiful details. I don't know. It's not just me. I know it's not just me. This book cover is everything. I can't wait to like have it out during fall. I'm gonna probably have this as like one of the last books I read, just so it's closer to the fall season, closer to October, closer to this mood of a book. Basically the book says Jenny's aunt who gifts her a beloved pumpkin spice cafe in the small town of Dream Harbor. Jenny jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. So then there's this person named Logan. It's a local farmer who avoids the Dream Harbor's gossip at all costs, but Jenny's arrival disputes Logan's routine, and he wants nothing to do with the irrationally upbeat new girl, except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. Woohoo! Okay, actually, so this book reminds me of like Gilmore Girls. I don't know, I don't know. It's a little small town and the dude's name's Logan, like Rory's Logan, if you know what I mean. She has this little cafe in this little small town, and the guy who like doesn't do anything with drama. I don't know. I love everything